se hace en Punta Arenas y a punto de terminar su travesía.
David Kroodsma salió hace poco más de 16 meses desde el estado de California, en Estados Unidos, con la meta de viajar hasta la parte más austral de América. Hoy está a punto de alcanzar su objetivo, preparando su salida desde Punta Arenas rumbo a la ciudad argentina de Ushuaia. Una aventura que lo ha llevado por 16 países y en la que cuenta unos 25.000 kilómetros de pedaleo. Todo con el afán de conocer nuevas personas y promover un mensaje contrario al calentamiento global. Kroodsma dice que en su largo viaje ha sido testigo de los estragos.
My name is David Kroodsma, and as the newscaster said, I biked through 16 countries to draw attention to global warming. When I was in college, I went on a 9-day bicycle tour along the Pacific coast, and I was instantly hooked. I dreamed of following the road south and riding all the way through Central and South America. I started planning and saving. After college, I earned a master's degree in climate science and then worked in a lab researching global warming at the Carnegie Institution for Science. When it came time to go on my journey, I decided to use it to raise awareness of global warming. In 2005, I quit my research job, got on my bicycle, and pedaled to the southern tip of South America, giving talks about global warming as I traveled. I then flew to the east coast of the United States and biked back to California. In almost 2 years, I biked 21,000 miles and gave 150 presentations about global warming. I also frequently appeared in national media, speaking directly to millions. I researched how climate change will affect the regions I visited, and I learned an incredible amount about the consequences of global warming in Latin America. But when I wasn't giving presentations or doing research, I had the adventure of a lifetime. I hitchhiked a ride through the Panama Canal. We are entering the lock. In Belize, my biking glove was stolen by a jaguar. While riding in the Peruvian Andes, the road I had planned to take didn't exist, so I rented a horse, put my bike on its back, and hiked into the mountains. I also pedaled across the world's largest salt flat in Bolivia, where you can play fun games with perspective. After 17 months of biking, I reached the end of the southernmost road in South America. What made this journey possible were the people I met. When I needed a place to camp, I'd ask locals along the road until someone would let me set my tent behind their house. I stayed with countless families, getting a snapshot of what life is like in the Latin American countryside.
¿Piensas que yo soy loco para mi interés en eso?
No, al contrario.
Sí, ¿cuántos van a hacer?
Toda la masa.
Toda la masa.
Toda la masa esta.
Toda la masa.
Sí.
Ah, sí.
Y acá todavía tenemos más.
¡Woo! Mucho para hacer.
In many cities, because I traveled on a tight budget, I slept at fire stations, which had extra beds. The firefighters welcomed me, and I sometimes went to emergencies, even earning my own uniform.
¿Todo? ¿Cómo?
La competencia tuya. Mira.
These adventures are now chronicled in a book, The Road to Tierra del Fuego, my 21,000-mile ride for the climate. This book is part travel adventure, part climate change science. Because of this journey, I see climate change differently, as I've now visited incredible places that may not be there later in my life. I biked through the northern part of the Amazon rainforest and then traveled by boat up the Amazon River. Some climate models predict that global warming may turn this jungle into an arid desert, destroying this natural wonder and dramatically changing the lives of the farmers who live there. I visited coral reefs off the coast of Belize. Coral reefs are the most biodiverse ecosystems in the ocean, home to thousands of species of fish. Because carbon dioxide makes water more acidic, and because elevated temperatures also damage reefs, many marine biologists don't think coral reefs will survive this century. These reefs support Belize's tourism industry, providing jobs and also fish to eat. And look at these butterflies in central Mexico. Monarch butterflies migrate from all over the eastern United States and spend a winter in a few colonies in central Mexico. Changes in rainfall brought by global warming could make these forests unsuitable for butterflies, resulting in extinction.
So there are a lot of butterflies here in the Park Sierra Chinquay. Tourists. butterflies,
Ay, qué
tourists,
asustado me tenía. A ver.
butterflies.
And so many people I stayed with were subsistence farmers and thus incredibly vulnerable to stronger storms and droughts. This is Melvin, who I stayed with one night in Honduras. Melvin lives in this house and survives on the corn and beans he grows behind it. He told me that when Hurricane Mitch passed through, he lost his crops and his family went hungry. He was one of the lucky ones. Over 10,000 Hondurans died in that hurricane. Melvin also told me that weather has become more unpredictable in recent years, making farming more difficult. I saw some of the solutions to climate change on my journey, but I also saw countless people who live in poverty and rightfully long to use more resources, not fewer. A third of the world's population lives on $2 a day or less, including many of the people I met. If we are to solve climate change, we must invent a way to provide the world with cheap, clean energy. Only then will people around the world be able to climb out of poverty without climate change spiraling out of control. The world is an amazing place that deserves to be explored and protected, and the people we share it with are just a bike ride away.